Welcome to the second episode of the Gambit Spotting Podcast. I'm your host, Meg, aka Punker Ducky. Also with me today are my two of three co-hosts, Liv and Vonnie.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up?
And your co-host. Don't forget your co-host.
Hey, what's up? I'm Liv. Call in the spirits on Instagram. If you were at RomyCon last year, I'm also BadWolf456, because who needs username consistency? And I neglected to introduce my tiny co-host last week, mostly because I was not aware that the video was going to be the primary recording, so I was trying so hard to ignore his bullying. But this squirmy worm is Gumbo, and he's my little foster kitten, and he likes to gently bully me while I'm trying to do things.
But he's cute as hell.
He's super cute and very squirmy.
Hey, I'm Vonnie, aka Marvel Millennial, and you can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky. So good morning for you guys over there.
Today's episode of Gambit Spotty is called Tall, Dark, and Fuchsia, and I'm very proud of that name, you guys. Today we're going to go over some character designs for Gambits. So mostly we're going to kind of start off with his first appearance. We're going to go into some of his early concept art, and then his kind of final look that they started off with him in the comics. So to start out here, we're going to begin with just general stats about the character, and then we're going to kind of talk a little bit about these and anything that we decide to tangent off into. And I know there's going to be some tangents because Riley's not here today to keep us all kind of in line. So prepare yourselves. We are unattended. So to begin with, we'll go with his name. So for the first couple, I want to say like years, we didn't know Gambit's actual name. It was just Gambit. That was how he was introduced. He was the mutant called Gambit, and there was no further discussion about really a lot about him. But later, we come to learn that his name is Remy LeBeau, and then even later than that, they slipped a middle name in there. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, but my French is awful. I believe it's Etienne. Am I good?
That sounds right.
Sounds about right. I'm from California. I have no idea. So if I'm wrong, please don't yell.
I don't know if I pronounce it Etienne.
Etienne?
Etienne, I don't know. That's how I would go. That's how I read it anyway.
But as
You're asking two people who just admitted that we suck at French.
Yeah. In my head,
great.
That's correct, yeah. But interestingly enough, like, the middle name apparently someone, like, wrote it into fan fiction, and then when Marvel was doing his, like, official bio, they took that bit of information and was kind of, like, was like, oh, yeah, that's it. And then everybody after that was like, okay, because they put it in the Marvel Bible, and it just kind of continued forward. So that was actually a fanfic creation. Go us. We're changing the characters slowly over time to be what we want it to be by giving it names and other stuff. So yay for the fanfic writers for changing Marvel history. So Gambit came in as from New Orleans, Louisiana, and that has remained consistent. He was abandoned as a baby, and he was adopted essentially by the Thieves Guild. So he was raised in a Cajun family Catholic upbringing, which makes him one of the few Marvel characters that I believe is like actually like announced Catholic. It's like him, Daredevil, and Nightcrawler. Some just general other stats. Obviously he's male. He's 6'2" in canon in the comics. And this is where my first tangent is going to go off. Because in X-Men 97, they released like a character sheet that had everybody's heights on it. And they made him, I think, like 5'9" or 5'11", somewhere in there. Like, it was under 6 foot. And I don't think I've ever quite been that mad. I was like, I
Give the man his inches.
Yeah, it's precious inches, okay? Like, you can't just take those away from him. I like 6 foot or higher, like, men. Like, don't you take him and put him under 6 foot, okay? I like to climb my men like a tree, because I'm little. So that them taking those inches away, it meant a lot to me, okay? I'm very upset by it. You give them back.
Hey, a few inches can make a difference.
They absolutely can. Size matters, you guys. Don't never let anybody tell you otherwise. But at least
this is why we need Riley. We would both be getting pineapple.
So at least like they didn't make Scott taller, because I think I would have further lost it if they're like, not only are we going to take inches away from him, we're going to give them to Scott Summers and make him taller.
Yeah, no.
Just like, can't do that. Were you going to say I need a babysitter? Is that what that was going to come out of your mouth?
Yeah, no. It wasn't specific to you. I was saying to definitely like both of us. Vonnie hasn't said anything out of line yet, but
There's time.
So if you guys are listening,
our
this
voice
is
of
all
reason
Riley's
couldn't
fault.
make it today.
Riley's fault for not being here, and it's basically just girls gone wild. That's we're just doing whatever we want. Woohoo! No one's flashing the camera though. I'm just gonna.
I was about to say that was a
Not quite
terrible
level
reference that you
girls gone wild.
picked.
Oh, Lord. Other physical descriptors. Gambit's eyes, and this is important, are you listening, Marvel Cinematic Universe, are black with red irises. They were that way at the beginning of the comics. It is where he got his Le Diable Blanc name from, even though he dropped it in Deadpool and Wolverine without having the proper eyes for it. I think that's probably my number one annoyance with comics. Like, reading any Gambit comics when they mess up his eyes.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah, because
my
I mean,
number one
like,
pet peeve.
yeah, because like for movies and stuff, for the 2 whole movie appearances that he's had, like I get where sometimes it might look a little creepier on screen than it does in the comics. Like it doesn't work as well, or like I know that if you do like a full sclera contacts, that those can be problematic. So like I kind of get where it might be kind of for practicality reasons. Still hate it, but I get that. But yeah, when you're doing it in a comic and you color in the eyes wrong, like you don't really have an excuse there.
Blatantly. Colorist has just fallen asleep at the wheel there.
Well, there was one I was looking at. I think it was in the 1999 run because I was doing research late last night. Weirdly enough, just one panel, like it's like a full page, but and his eyes are red in all of them, and in one panel they're green with a black sclera. Yeah, and I was like, I don't like that. That
feels weird to me.
Is that just an error? Maybe it's just they've
yeah,
mixed it up, or like
Yeah, because I mean, like the only exception to the normal colored eyes would be like when they were doing the what is it, the shared memory mind meld thing with Rogue.
That's cute.
When they both swapped
and they switch.
Yeah.
Isn't just
Otherwise, it's just an error.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that it's all on one page too, because you have like how many panels where it's right, and then they're just like, what color was I using again? Like
to be fair, that page is it also has Rogue in it, so I think probably what happened is they were like, Rogue, green eyes, and they were just populating like the iris.
So they also have ADHD, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
What was I...
They got distracted.
That works.
Everybody gets green eyes.
Yeah, that's my number one like rage in the comic books is when they screw up his eyes. Because again, they are an important part of his backstory, and he's one of the few mutants that was born with a mutation that was apparent when he was a kid. So they're a big part of his history, and when they screw them up, it's like, no, just give him his proper eyes. So again, Marvel Cinematic Universe, like I have any impact to them at all whatsoever. But if you're listening to me, please fix his eyes before the next movie.
Yeah, surely with the kind of like thingies, technologies and things now, and all the films that they do, they have better contact lenses and stuff like that now. So
they can even they can go into like post edit.
Yeah, but I think
CGI.
even now they use it very practically, and there's a lot better contact lenses out there to be able to see. I mean, you even see cosplayers. I mean, like amazing cosplayers, and they've got the full sort of covered eye, sort of eyes, contacts in and stuff like that. So I think they can do it going forward, definitely.
Fix it. All right, I'm done with the tangent. I'll probably come back onto that several more times over the course of this podcast as we're doing a read-along with his history. I'll be like, oh, look, they did it wrong again. And then I'll scream and rage and throw things. Maybe not. The other thing with his physical descriptors is his hair is auburn. Brown auburn. Not red. And I know it kind of flips back and forth in comics. Sometimes it's like the same colors as like Rogue's hair. Sometimes it's more like brunette. Sometimes it's more reddish. The one thing that's nutted me up about the current Uncanny run is whoever the colorist is has him like, it's like basically ginger. Like it's very red compared to how it has been historically, like way different than it usually is. I prefer him to have that kind of darker auburn, like the kind of like the russet colored almost, just because that's how he was introduced to me, and it's weird seeing it change. It does, like I said, bounce around by the colorist, but theoretically his hair is brown in canon. In his little like character bio it says that he's brunette, so I think I'm one of the only people that probably gets really pissed off about that. I'm sure others are out there.
It's varying levels of ginger, I think, in the current Uncanny.
The current run.
Yeah.
It
I think
does.
it's what palette they use as well, isn't it? Because earlier comics, it is quite sort of bold colours and it can tend to flick towards that reddy side just because of the... Obviously, nowadays, there's a lot more sort of variety of the colours that they can print from
Yeah.
sort of thing. So I think that helps.
X-Men has a lot of redheads.
They do. They have
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, honestly, I think Marvel in general has a lot of redheads. Like, considering how small of a portion they are of the population, there's a lot.
Just try to make everybody copy Jean Grey. I think that's what it's like. That one worked. We'll just
They're
keep...
trying to make everyone a Summers.
Everybody's
what
a
it-
Summers.
see,
That's
all-
why. That's why.
It all comes back to everyone being a Summers. Or married
It's a
to Summers.
tumbleweed.
Stupid tumbleweed. I hate that tumbleweed. Why? So I think at first outset, like from first appearance, like people have tried to calculate roughly how old Gambit is, and I think the closest estimate they have is between like 25 to 28 in his first couple appearances. And I think now this is how comic book time works. So when we were like kids in the 90s, he was 25 to 28 years old, and now he's like mid 30s.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how
So
time
I
works.
went from being a child to being older than him, and that's really weird for me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. It feels kind of wrong.
So, speaking of age points, I have a little sub-tangent on the adoption into the Thieves Guild. Because this has been bugging me and I actually had to go look it up. Because I was like, I remembered reading one of the solo runs and there was, it was just mentioned, it wasn't shown on a panel. But it was like, Gambit saying, oh, my first memory that I had was waking up like handcuffed to a porch rail with an angry alligator like a few feet away, and I was supposed to like figure out how to release myself from the handcuffs and like, you know, escape, and that was supposed to be like a trial being into the Thieves Guild. And then he says I was 2 years old, which first of all is like, okay, that seems like a totally good trial for a 2-year-old. But
Hello,
also
CPS.
yeah. And then I was confused because I thought that, you know, in previous issues that I could have sworn that I remembered that he was like 10 and he tried to pickpocket Jean Luc, and I ended up going back and finding like every single mention of his like origin into the Thieves Guild. And so it's similar to on the last episode where we have like, oh, we've got all these different theories but none of them make sense together, except this one I think that they tried to kind of smooth everything over. So in the first one, first mention of it's from his solo series in 92, where he says that he grew up on the streets and tried to pickpocket Jean Luc. The age is not mentioned. And then in the 99 one, then it was mentioned that he was stolen from the hospital by the Thieves Guild. But weirdly enough, he didn't go directly to the Thieves Guild. Jean Luc like stole him and then gave him to a like kind of separate faction. Like it was a former Thieves Guild member that was kind of taking in kids on the street sort of thing. And then he was like keeping an eye on him from a distance. Sorry, my accent slipped out really hard there. An eye on him from a distance. But that he did do the pickpocketing thing at 10. So it's like, I think they tried to kind of smooth things over. I don't know where in that timeline having a 2-year-old do a Thieves Guild trial fits in. I think that might have been just a like, okay, one issue said that, we're just gonna like forget that happened. It's not important.
He was with
but...
like, it was Fagin's mom
yes,
of children.
yeah, Fagin's mom, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're connected to the Thieves Guild, so maybe that was like part of that was Fagin's.
Yeah, but I'm curious on that because like I don't think that we got a lot of detail between like the Fagin's mob and the Thieves Guild, because it was like the Fagin's mob was supposed to be he was excommunicated from the Thieves Guild. So would you still be calling it a Thieves Guild at that point? Semantics?
There's a lot of semantics there, yeah. Now that you brought that up, I was just thinking, if Jean Luc is the one that stole him and kind of gave him to Fagin and then was watching him for all that time, like how much of that was like a setup, and then when he tried to pick back up and he was like, all right, I guess I'll take you back.
Yeah.
Was he playing like the long game with him as a child, or
that was the implication, yeah.
I appreciate the rabbit hole that you went down.
It was bugging me. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out because I know I heard it somewhere.
She gets out the board, starts connecting
Yep.
lines.
The
We've
yarn.
all got them boards.
Yeah. It's like Vonnie last episode and her
Yeah.
Destiny
Gambit,
Rogue.
Destiny, Rogue. It's just that's the straight
I'm
line and
keeping it.
everything.
I'm keeping it. Yeah.
You're keeping it. That's fine. That should be our next T-shirt. It's just Gambit, Destiny, Rogue. No further explanation.
With just arrows in between.
Just arrows and the little guy with the string
Yeah.
and the board. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happening. That is happening.
But yeah, and then like in the 99 run was also the mention of the eye color as well there, because I think the exact quote is like he was born with an angel's smile and the devil's eye, and like that's
kind of cute.
it's perfect. I love that. But like that's so important because it's like that's the crux of his origin story. He was born with the eyes, and his biological parents, who are like never actually mentioned or clarified, were
And
like,
not
horrified. that they're definitely not Summers. And that they were horrified, thought that he was like devil child, and abandoned him at the hospital. And then he got intercepted by the Thieves Guild, who were apparently waiting for that exact child situation.
Intercepted. He was stolen.
Intercepted.
Intercepted. Appropriated and relocated.
Look, abandoned property, and then you just
Being born in a hospital makes you abandon property. I think at that point the hospital kind of has. I don't know.
intercepted.
Although
We need to
not
keep
to
an
link
eye
it
on
back, that is something a Summers would do.
You know. Get
You're
out.
not wrong. You're not wrong though. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Lord. Yeah, so if you take away anything from this episode, is that Gambit is supposed to be over 6 feet and his eyes have to be correct, and he's not a ginger. That's
Yes.
all you need to know moving forward to really just appease me in any way, shape, or form. But now that we have the man's body down, and he does have a nice body, thank you all of the artists that have contributed to that over the years, and mostly David Marquez. Bless you, David Marquez. For drawing a very, very nice Gambit.
And Clay Mann.
Sorry,
And Amelia in X-Men
Yeah.
97.
See?
Oh yeah.
Alright. It's too hard now. Almost are like,
This is why we need Riley.
Riley, how dare you abandon us?
Riley, come back.
We need the male voice of reason to be like, bonk, no horny, stop it. Focus.
Just as we're all just like,
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the video.
Because he just needs to be like,
Freeze
stop
frame.
it. Knock it off. Back on topic, bitches. Back on topic. So, as we discussed last week, there was some different kind of ways that Gambit was supposed to come into the comics and ways that he was supposed to go. There was also several different outfits that I am glad that we did not go with. We posted up last week on our Instagram some of the outfits that Jim Lee had originally designed for him, and we're going to talk a little bit about them today. I do want to highlight, of all of the looks that he was potentially given, only one of those looks did not have a head sock. So it was Team Head Sock. Team Head Sock was prevalent in all but one look. So the first look that I like to lovingly
sorry.
call the dog collar look, and you got a gumbo butt in your face. For
I
those of you
was
that are
trying-
not watching the tape,
Yeah.
currently Liv is about 6 inches away from a cat butthole, which is
I
right
was censoring
in her
it.
face. You were, yes,
I was censoring it.
Censor the butthole.
We don't need to see that.
It's very hard for us to focus on the Gambit dog collar look because we're looking at cat butt. Now it's been, nope, it's back. Thank you, Gumbo. He's trying to earn money for his GoFundMe for his eye surgery by
Oh,
showing a little,
yeah.
showing a little
Can
cat butt on the
Can
internet.
I plug that?
Yes, we can plug that.
Okay, wonderful. As soon as he starts squirming again. So yeah, if you go on my Instagram, I've got a post all about it. But Gumbo kind of found me, and I've been trying to take care of him as a foster kitten. One of his initial vet visits, we actually found out he's got a couple of birth defects. One being that he doesn't have fully formed eyelids. So he has agenesis of his eyelids, which means that he constantly has his eyelashes and everything else are kind of rubbing in his eye and irritating him. So he's got dark eyes, and that kind of worked really well with his name, which Meg named him, so I think that's kind of your fault. But we are working on actually getting him some surgery to correct that. They're actually going to be able to graft and essentially build him his upper eyelid so that he can see properly. Because right now, with the constant irritation, he's forming scar tissue, and eventually he's going to lose his sight if we don't get that corrected. So all of that being said, if you go on my Instagram, I have a post kind of going over everything. I've got the link to the GoFundMe, and if anybody is able to share that and donate, that would be greatly appreciated so we can get this little dude taken care of, because he is a absolute sweetheart, even if he bullies me all the time.
And he's basically trying to start an OnlyFans right now to help contribute that with his flashing of the cat butt. So
he can be our little mascot, though.
He is adorable. For those of you that are not watching the video, he's the cutest damn kitten I've ever seen in my life.
If he gets close enough to the mic, we can do kitten purr ASMR.
Yes.
If we start like a Patreon, I can have that as
just kitten purr recordings.
Just kitten purrs. I have a video of that on my Instagram too.
Getting back on topic. This is going well, guys, today.
Super great.
Initial character design. So the first concept art that we see, Gambit has no head sock. He's wearing what appears to be a dog collar and suspenders, which I think is it's a fabulous look.
It's a choice.
Across the board. He's got kind of the long trench coat, but the sleeves are rolled up. He's wearing the gloves that we're all familiar with. And then he's got, they look like leather boots. He's still got the long hair. It looks like, I can't tell if he has like a scar on his face or if it's just his cheekbone. Because it's just like one shot, kind of like, this is an outfit, this is an outfit, this is an outfit. That's one of the only ones where it looks like it's leather boots compared to the rest of them all kind of have that metal look to them. And we'll get more into that in a minute. I know that Liv was going down another rabbit hole with the boots last night. I'm curious to see how that turned out for today.
We'll talk about that later.
You describing that first contact, you describing that first one just sounds like a version of Deathbit.
It does kind of look like a version of Deathbit, which is that's an interesting thing. I wonder if they did that a little bit.
Yeah, ahead of its time.
The second look has the kind of a short leather coat. I don't know, is it like, it's almost like a motorcycle jacket kind of look, but it has like the collar on it is very up. So it's kind
the
of
flared
like,
collar one.
It's like a flared collar. He's got his head sock. It's a shorter coat. It kind of looks like a pirate almost, I want to say. Like he's got like these tall like mid-calf boots, kind of like this Han Solo kind of belt off to the side, what looks like a motorcycle jacket with a very exaggerated collar, and the head sock. All of these he has kind of like long hair in various shades of either like in a ponytail or kind of flowing in the wind. The dog collar look, actually, he kind of has like a half man bun kind of going, like where it's like a...
I think that's just a mullet.
Is it a mullet?
I think that's just a mullet.
Lord. I was hoping it wasn't. Please let me... Ponytail I'm okay with. I don't know if I would smash her pass with the...
Mullet.
I will say the second one that you were describing, I think, is my personal favorite of the initial designs. It's...
Pirate?
So, okay, I think it's the combination of the Han Solo belt and the kinky boots. Is just... I'm here for it. It is a look.
It is a look. I will give you that. It's definitely a look.
That is a bold choice.
Let's see. The third one that we're going to discuss here is kind of on the bottom right of this panel, and we'll put it on the Instagram again so you guys can take a look at it. It is amazing. There's a lot happening with this particular look. So he's got kind of like the head sock. He has the same chest piece that they ended up with, kind of that metal-looking armor. I'm not entirely certain what is happening with the sleeves here. Because either he doesn't have sleeves and he just has like straps of fabric hanging down, kind of like Rogue's dress, the red dress.
Like, yeah, kind of that like ruche
like
fabric
kind of
situation.
Drop sleeve. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. And then he's wearing gloves, so I can't tell if there's like fabric under that and it's just like the color of his skin, or if he's just rocking with his arms out and with little scraps of fabric around, which I think would not be very good for like action.
I can't. Dang it. Okay, so I thought that it was full sleeve, and now that you said that, I can't unsee.
You can't unsee it, right?
I can't unsee the drop sleeve.
Which again brings us to the pants, and I know we had a little discussion on our Discord about the pants, because I was like, oh, those are Harlequin, because they look like the pattern with like little like diamonds, like it's a Harlequin pattern.
And I thought they were fishnets.
Yeah, Liv's like, those are fishnets, and now
they look like fishnets.
I can't unsee it. So either he's wearing a thong and fishnets, or he's wearing harlequin pants also with a thong. There's a lot happening.
I mean, either way, it's not a great choice.
It's not.
It's different.
It looks like a French jester. Like,
Just need the hat.
What's happening? He just needs the hat. Yeah. And then he's got like tall. I think those are either leather boots or metal boots. I can't tell. They're just white. There's not a whole lot of detail on those. It is a look. It is definitely a look. This fourth look, I think, is my favorite. It's he's got like a head sock. He's got kind of like, it looks like a short leather jacket. So it's not quite as exaggerated with the pirate color, like look number 2. There's some weird, it kind of has like a Prince Charming sleeve. I don't know a better way to call that. Like it's
charming sleeve.
It's like kind of fluffy on top and then.
Okay, so I didn't think that was a sleeve. I thought that was armor. Like that looks like it looks like plating to me, or at least like leather, maybe like a guard sort of situation. I don't know.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of interpretation on these.
Why they went away from some of these looks, because I think they'd be really hard to draw consistently. Yeah.
And in movement, probably, as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of play in most of these. And as we learn going along with Gambit, like he's very acrobatic. Like he's constantly just like jumping around and jumping off of shit and swinging his bow staff. Not a euphemism. And just like he's very like movement oriented. Pineapple. Anyway, he's very movement oriented, and to have like kind of thicker armor restricts that. So I think that might be part of the reason they kind of went with that too. But he's got like motorcycle boots. Looks like he's wearing like torn jeans. So this look actually reminds me a lot of like the 90s Gambit, like when him and Rogue are on the dock kind of getting in that argument about France and Sabretooth. We'll get into this again later. What happened in France with Sabretooth, and he's kind of wearing like that black leather jacket and has like the ripped jeans and the boots. Like that really, really reminds me of this look. And that might be one of the reasons that I like it. It just kind of has that vibe. And he again is wearing the head sock because Team Head Sock. Jim Lee really likes his head socks. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
Like most of his character design stuff tends to lean that direction. And then finally we have the final look, which was supposed to be the final look, is Gambit. He's got the long trench coat, kind of semi-flared collar. He's got his head sock. Hair's just kind of doing whatever it wants. The chest piece. The pants initially, and on the cover of 266, I think was Jim Lee's intended like look for him. They're kind of like pink pants with black stripes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not the black with pink that we're used to. It's a very specific look, and then it kind of has that underwear on the outside look. But unlike Cyclops, it's more like a thong kind of looking thing on the outside. So that was where Jim Lee was going with him, and then that's not necessarily what carried through into the comics. As we went into like the last podcast episode, the original artist that did the interiors kind of changed it a little bit, and then moving forward they seem to kind of stick with that design. So Jim Lee's original intention was for him to look like the cover of 266. That was the initial character design. So it morphed a little bit, and we'll go kind of in further detail of what he ended up as here in a little bit. But I almost said that was interesting. And then I have another tangent this week that I just learned. So the cover of 266, as we know, Andy Kubert drew it. I'm going to hold it up for the camera for those who are watching it. It's this one right here. If you aren't watching the video and are listening to the podcast, it is the Uncanny X-Men issue 266 that came out in the 90s. And Andy Kubert did an interview, I think, for his school. There's like a Kubert school. And he was talking about how he ended up drawing this cover. Because like I always kind of wondered, because Jim Lee obviously did the character design, like how Kubert ended up doing the first cover and then another artist doing the interiors. And apparently he happened to be in the office, like the X office, when they were talking about like timelines, and Jim Lee apparently didn't have enough time to draw the cover. Like he'd done the character designs, but he didn't have enough time to kind of get this cover done before it needed to be done to put the comic out. So they just asked Andy Kubert, because he was in there like, hey, do you want to draw this? And obviously, like, was not familiar with Gambit. Gambit was just very recently created. So he was like, I mean, sure, give me some references. And Jim Lee gave him like his character sketch, which was basically this sketch. Was like, this is what I want, and he drew it. So he ended up, it was like completely like fated to be, and it ended up being like one of the most popular covers Andy Kubert's ever drawn. Like he says he still signs this one like at every Comic-Con that he goes to and does signings at. It's been very, very popular, and he's very well known for that one, and the Gambit and Rogue is other one that he's very well known for.
Love
But
that
I just
one.
thought that was, I had no idea. Like, I was like, oh, could he work for Marvel? And they just asked him to draw it. But it was just like fortuitous timing. He like happened to be in the office when they were talking about that. And he was like, yeah, sure, I can do it. And that's how that came to be. I will link the Kubert School podcast in our links in the episode on Spotify, so you guys can listen to him tell that story on his own. I had no idea, and it like literally just came out this week, and it was like the timing, like we're going over this look, and kind of the first appearance in these first couple episodes, like that really worked out for me. Yeah.
I do find it interesting on that cover though that you can't see his red eyes.
You can't. They just look dark and angry. He looks very grumpy.
Yeah.
Probably because he was babysitting Storm. I mean, like.
Well, that's it. He's
No,
like...
he loved babysitting Storm, be honest.
He's like, this kid's trouble. I like her.
Yeah.
And I do find it interesting, though, if you look in kind of like the little corner panel up in the upper right, he has the look that he has inside on the corner.
Yeah, the pants are totally different. Yeah,
the pants are totally different. So they're like, oh, we should probably
That's
make
your
it
line.
And there's no thong.
It's the same guy, and there's no thong.
Yeah.
You know, the thong's kind of growing on me. A little bit.
You know, from that sketch page, it really draws the eye.
It definitely draws the eye.
I mean, maybe that's tactical.
It's
Not
a
as
focal point.
Not as much as it does in the fishnet version of that particular outfit.
I disagree.
That's what I'm just gonna call
It drew my eye equally on both of those.
They're like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
There's children. We need to make it more like.
Think of the
Slow
children.
down a little bit.
Yeah,
The children.
think of the children.
So the final look that they decided to go with is very 90s. I will say that. That's probably why I like it still. It's just he's always kind of they changed the costume over the years, but it always kind of keeps that same vibe. It is very flashy. Initially, Gambit was kind of like this. I don't want to say grungy. There's an element of grunge to him, but he like chain smoked and just was kind of like this badass. Like he just had this vibe about him that was very kind of 90s, like soap opera bad boy kind of shit going on with him. And a lot of it was, I think, the look that they gave him. They kind of had like this long, just like hair that was doing whatever it wanted to do. He had the head sock on there. Like, I think that's the only thing that's kind of keeping his hair like well behaved ish, is that head sock kind of controls where it goes, so it's not just a constant mop. But it's just like long and unruly. And I'm gonna pineapple myself. I'm not gonna say what I was going to say.
Tousled.
So yeah,
Definitely.
tousled.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a look. It's doing what it wants. Okay. So the
letting it all hang
traditional
out,
uniform that he has, it's just yeah, it's like a shorter Fabio kind of look going on there. His chest armor has always kind of, it leans toward the same look where it's like fuchsia and blue, and it kind of covers his chest and neck. And initially, like, you don't realize it's armor. Like, it just kind of, like, you can't tell if it's, like, actual built-in armor or if it's, like, a pull-on thing. And then later on in the comics, I think it was, like...
It was the 2022 run.
Yeah, it was, like, the most recent Claremont run where he kind of went back into the past and kind of rehashed some of that Storm run where they find out it looks like a shirt. Like, he just pulls it on. Yeah. But it's got some tensile strength in it, so that actually, like, in the... It's 22, right? The 22 Claremont run of Gambit... So someone actually the Gambit actually fires a shot at the armor on somebody else, and it just like bounces off. So now you're like, oh, okay, like there is an armor element to it, and I don't know how much of that is like retcon and how much of it is intended from the very beginning. Yeah, and he actually makes a point to describe the color as being something to attract your eyes to it, so that enemies aim for the armor and not his face.
Yeah, and apparently the head sock is also armored, which is interesting. Yeah, it's same issue, because he's going over all the things. Because he said that the loose hair is to help to conceal the head sock, I guess, in the back, I would assume. But yeah, so it's supposed to kind of help from headshots that aren't in that specific region of the face, like you're kind of screwed in that area. But and I guess that one strip across the forehead and then surrounding the back of it is also allegedly the same sort of protection and armor as the chest piece.
That is something I did not clearly pay attention to during that particular issue. And you know what's funny?
Rabbit holed last night.
You did. I'm so proud of you. This is what happens when you let people that are in academia do stuff like this, is we rabbit hole hard when we go. be prepared for that in this podcast. Like, it's gonna keep happening.
The number of times that I was trying to find something out and I came across, like, you know, a blog or even, like, the freaking Wikipedia, like, you know, Marvel Wikipedia page. And it's just like, here's a sentence, statement of fact. No citation. Cite your sources. I want to be able to find it.
Reference.
Yes. Sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. You're gonna get me going on references again. Don't you say it.
No. Hey, I was shielding you from the last citation question. So I actually had also a little bit of a kind of point on the chest armor, because he mentions in that whole thing, and I don't know if this is just the dialogue being confusingly written, because he goes over like the chest piece being bulletproof and that the headstock is a similar protection level. But then he says that the armor protects from bullets and energy blasts. But then he says, but you have to watch out for knives and punches, because those will still like be effective. And I'm confused on there because he says that after the headstock comment. So I'm like, okay, does that mean don't get punched in this one area of the face, because that seems kind of obvious? Or that the armor can only, as a whole, like the whatever material that is, protect from bullets and energy blasts, but knives and punches are more effective.
Maybe it's like a velocity issue. Like
I have
something
thoughts
of like
on
a higher
that.
velocity.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
Do you want? You're making a face. Would you like to expand on your thoughts on that?
No, because I would need to do math.
Please
Like,
don't.
you need to understand, at one point when I was watching Jurassic World and I was tipsy, I have it's literally a 3x5 card. The math wasn't mathing. So this is a completely unrelated tangent, but the math was not mathing on the gyrosphere being like, oh, it's a polycarbonate and it can stop a 50 caliber bullet, and then the Indominus is just like, ha, psych, boonk, and gets his claw through it. I did the math on that. It doesn't make sense.
Do you need a hug? Are you okay?
No. It's still bothering me. But yeah,
Clearly.
so just
Sleepless nights.
Yeah. She just wakes up in the middle of the night, Nicole, it's about like Jurassic Park. No, that's your
That's a
hang-up with
trigger word
Jurassic
for
Park.
her.
no.
Yeah.
It's not any of the rest of Jurassic Park. It's just
Jurassic
that
World.
part.
Jurassic
Sorry,
World.
not the dinosaur making dinosaur. No, that all makes perfect sense. It's
Yeah, the
world.
dinosaurs being in that park is fine, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, if you're gonna be specific on materials properties, man, you gotta be able to back it up.
So what is your hypothetical then for the armor for certain things were like being prevented from going into it and certain things not?
So
Because this is your wheelhouse. Mine's old dead things. I'm not useful here.
the velocity or the like honestly that for the punches it doesn't make sense to me at all. Like that does not make sense, just straight up. But for the knives, my best guess would just be if it's like a woven sort of material, like a carbon fiber sort of composite situation. And for reference, I have a PhD in materials engineering, so this is
why she nerds hard.
yeah, this is why stuff like this bothers me and why I'm no fun at some movies. But my best guess is that it's some sort of like a woven composite sort of material where if the entry point is small enough, like a knife blade could kind of slip through maybe. But yeah, as a whole, generally, if it's able to protect against high velocity rounds, it should be able to protect against other things fairly well. At least, you know, not to the point where it's like, oh, you have to watch out for these, they'll definitely do damage. Like it should still provide some level of protection, not be like, this is the kryptonite of the armor, you just don't get stabbed or punched.
Maybe he just meant in the face. Like, don't get them.
That's what makes sense. That is what makes the most sense to me. But yeah.
But then surely the other things would affect his face. The bullets and the...
Yeah.
Well, we will see later that the bullets without the headstock did absolutely affect his face in future issues. So
It was temporary.
That's
It was
for later,
fine.
kids. That's for later, kids. You're gonna get
He
some
was-
trauma with that one.
He was only mostly dead.
Just for a second, it's fine.
Yeah.
He got better.
He'll walk it off.
He got better.
He got better.
Walk it off. It's fine.
Oh. If you're curious and you have not read that run, it's the Man Asmus run. Is it Asmus? Asmus. I don't know how to
Asmus.
pronounce Asmus. Of Gambit from 1999. Phenomenal read if you haven't read it. I think that's one of my favorite
2012.
overall arcs. Is it 2012? That was 99. Which one was it?
Nope, 2012.
I defer to the doctor. She's smarter than I am.
rabbit hold.
Clearly. Why was I thinking it was 99?
I don't remember who did 99.
Oh, because that was that. Okay. Oh, 99 was the weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah, 99 was the New Sun arc.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's why. I have too many dates written down. This is the lovely thing about being old and trying to remember shit that you read decades ago, is trying to figure out what year it was and like what year it is now, and you're just like, but he's only
I never
aged 10
remember
years.
what year it is now.
It's, if I didn't have a clock every day that was like, it's 2025, I'd be lost. So, moving on to his pants. We're doing remarkably well. Hair, head sock, chest plate.
All the tangents have been me, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Right.
Good, they've been good tangents though. Like you're getting good info here because you clearly are more refreshed on this than some of us are. Rabbit holing aside. Oh, I forgot to mention though the arms underneath, like, because you don't always like see underneath the jacket because he always has that trench coat on.
Mm-hmm.
They match the pants. Like it's like black, and then I can't tell if the gloves are like built in to the sleeves or if they're over the top of it, because in some comics it kind of looks like, and this is all like again his early stuff, like the first couple appearances, in some issues it looks like it's gloves, and in some issues it looks like it's kind of a continuation of the arm piece, so they're kind of that black with like the fuchsia stripes, like the pants that we're going to go into in a second. They kind of have that vibe. You can't always tell if the gloves are a separate thing or together. I think it would be a pain in the ass to be together.
I agree.
Because then you would have to like take them off. But some of them, like, there's clearly no, like, delineation between, like, where the glove ends and where the wrist begins. And there's a couple of fabulous panels of him in the 90s where he's not wearing the trench coat, and it's just like, wow, that's like, it's a whole outfit together without the trench coat.
Yeah.
It is definitely, the trench coat definitely adds to it, I will say.
It brings it all together. Otherwise, it's
together.
It's a lot.
It's peacocky, I think is the proper word for it. Like, it's very, like, display and, like, look at me.
I always remember
towards my torso, apparently.
Yes, only the torso, not the face.
Only the torso,
not the face.
No.
No, I remember even in the I think there's a couple of scenes in like the animated series, the original, that he doesn't have the trench coat on. And I always thought, I was like, I remember seeing that as a kid. I'm like, that's nope, I like it with the trench coat on better.
Yeah, that's a choice. Sir, put it back on.
Put it back.
One time we're telling Gambit to put clothes back on. Put it back on.
How are you sneaking in places to like thief stuff with an outfit like that? It's like,
that's
hello.
A good point.
You know,
Look
just
at me
like,
covertly,
I'm coming.
covertly sneaking in the window, my bright fucking pink. Look at me
Flashes of
shirt.
light. Yeah.
Like, sir. He's like, that's just how good of a thief I am. I'm wearing this and I never get caught.
Yeah, honestly, that tracks. That
It's just
yeah.
bragging. He's just like, look at me. They didn't catch me. I am that good. So the pants, again, in the cover, they're like bright pinkish purple, like that fuchsia color with the kind of like, it looks like tiger stripes almost. There's like a line down the side.
I was going to say, yeah, like an animal print almost. It's like,
It does.
okay.
It's like zebra, tiger,
Zebra,
like
yeah.
it's got that kind of
Vibe to it.
And then he's like climbing on a vine too. Maybe that's why they're kind of hitting that look extra hard. It looks like he's coming out of the jungle.
I just got a like Gambit George of the Jungle, like the Brendan Fraser George of the Jungle like crossover in my head, and I'm not mad at the mental image.
Do you need the bonk stick? Are we gonna have to bonk you? Bonk. No horny. Liv. Focus.
Okay, wait, where was that earlier?
It's not when I'm doing it, it's just when you're doing it.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
Anyways, fine.
Riley,
Yeah.
come back. See, I think because he's not here, we're a little bit more unhinged than we normally would be, because there's no, like, I think we try to have a level of decorum when he's here, so we don't just make him crawl off the screen.
We don't want him to judge us too hard, and we don't want to scare him off.
No.
Yeah, but he's not here today, so guess what, guys? It's just us.
Unfiltered.
In our unfiltered tangents. So I do appreciate, though, like, I think I like the look of the pants better, where it's kind of like the black with the little, like, fuchsia stripes down the side. And then we do learn later on, and this time I did write down the date, because I am occasionally good at referencing, in 19 and Captain Marvel, they actually retcon that those little pink stripes are pockets. And that makes a lot of sense, actually, because I was like, what purpose do they serve? It's not like just to be decorative, like...
They're go faster stripes.
They're
So you can run faster. Yeah.
That's where the speed
Aerodynamics.
Yes.
It's the paint job.
Everybody
Paint
knows
job makes
this.
you go faster. It's like the really high-end cars that are like bright obnoxious orange, like that's why. It's because it makes them go faster. where all the money's
Everybody
in.
knows that racing stripes make you go faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just like, those are pockets, and then now like looking back, you're like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. But I appreciate that they kind of like Kelly Thompson snuck that in there. Captain Marvel, I'm like, oh, this is the reason for this.
The pockets do not make sense. I'm sorry, they just don't. Like, how are you hiding anything in there? Yeah.
Cards.
Okay.
He's just got like a couple in each pocket.
Maybe if he has like a couple in each pocket, but like anything in there, that is not a forgiving outfit. That's real tight. You put anything in a pocket, you're gonna see what's in there.
What's in there?
Maybe that's why they had the thong look initially, to distract you from the pocket.
From the pocket with all like the little gadgets that are very
You
clearly
don't see
in
what's
his
going on
pocket.
because your eyes are looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you don't think the pockets... Vonnie, do you think the pockets make sense or not?
No, because it is they're streamlined pants. They're streamlined pants. You don't want to mess with the streamlined.
It's not like
By putting
cargo
them in.
pants.
No, unless he's
So
putting his
very-
little trinkets in them.
Very small pockets for like rocks or little things for him to fling at people.
Jewels, little jewels.
Yeah, there we go.
Like
Like
I
little things
know
that he can charge and throw.
I know what you meant by that, but just the first thing that popped in my head is just wondering, ooh, what a pretty rock, and just like their
You know
pockets
why?
for his rock collection.
Because we're all neurodivergent and we're like, ooh, rocks for your pockets. Like that, we do that. I do that. It's shiny, okay? I can't help it.
They're just filled with random things that he just picks up, and he just, every now and then go, what's in my pocket?
Well, this thing I stole, that's what's in his pocket. You just gotta have room for the loot, man.
Ugh.
So, and then we have his boots. We're almost through with the initial outfit here. There is also, you're going to do some debate here with the boots, because they are described basically as chrome knee-high boots with metal knee pads. And depending on who the colorist is, they're either silver or they're blue. I think in the animated series, they lean very heavily towards the blue. I don't know if that's because they were trying to draw chrome and it just didn't translate well. So we're all familiar with them kind of being more bluish. In the comics, most of the early 90s comics, they look kind of blue and then they kind of lean towards silver later on and then kind of go back and forth between the two colors depending on who the colorist is. Miss I Do Materials, have you figured out what metal that you want them to be made out of? It's not what they are, it's just they've never actually said. And she was like, I know they're metal, but what kind?
So I literally was, I was up stupid late last night. That's not because of this, that's just me. But yeah, so I was actually messaging Meg. I'm like, this is bothering me, but I need to know what Gambit's boots are made out of, and I need to stop. And she was like, metal? I'm like, well, yes, but what kind? So I was trying to figure out what sort of metal they would. I mean, spoiler alert, I think that the answer is going to be, vibranium or adamantium, because that's just like the magic bullet of the Marvelverse when it comes to metals. Because hey, how practical are metal boots? Honestly, I mean, they're going to be heavy. And if you have like that chrome edition, to have them be all shiny and polished, like there's a reason why highly polished metal is usually for like jewelry and things that you aren't going to be having everyday use for. So that's just going to be a freaking nightmare to keep up with as boots. Like that would bother the absolute hell out of me. But yeah, my main thing would just be it's the weight. Because like if you have a chrome situation, I would assume you're like, oh, they're like a stainless steel or something. But that's gonna be heavy. If you have a whole boot made out of it, like that's not great for stealth runs.
See, that's why his legs and his butt are so muscular.
Yeah.
That's why his legs and his butt are so muscular, because he's walking around
Exercise.
with boots and they're like 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, like if y'all have ever worn steel toe boots, they make you work for it,
They do. They're not forgiving. They're also not quiet, which again is another
Exactly.
Is another bragging
Yeah.
point. Like I'm loud as when I walk because I'm wearing metal boots and I'm bright pink and I'm still getting shit out of your house and you're not seeing me, or hearing me. He's just that good. This is the least stealthy outfit.
So my best guess is they're probably supposed to be some sort of like a titanium or like Tie 6-4. But as someone that works with that, it is a pain in the ass to polish to that shiny level. So yeah, it's either it's going to be a pain to polish and keep polish, or it's going to be too heavy. So the answer is magic Marvel metals, vibranium or adamantium. Yeah, we're just going to go with that because it was bothering me and I don't know how to explain it. So yeah,
magic comic book metal.
Yes, Marvel metal.
Marvel metal.
It does its own thing. It's fine. And then let's see. We got gloves and his jacket are the last couple things that kind of tie the look together. As we discussed earlier, sometimes the gloves are their own thing. Sometimes the gloves are part of the sleeve, which again doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But as we've discussed, this whole outfit doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we still love it. Generally, the middle two fingers are covered, and his thumb, index, and pinky fingers are out. And as they discussed in canon going forward, we'll kind of get a little bit more into this. That's so he can kind of control his touch, because that's where his power is derived from. So by having a couple fingers that are covered, it kind of limits where he is able to use his powers. That is one thing that mostly stays consistent in the comic, is they seem to be able to they kind of kept the same like finger setup, I guess, of the gloves, where the two middle fingers are the ones that cover it and the other three are out, pretty consistently through his entire history.
Either that or they're all fingerless.
Or they're all, there's nothing. But it's either two or none. Like, it's never, you don't really see him in full gloves ever unless there's like a wintertime thing. Sometimes they'll do that. But for the most part, in his standard uniform, he's always at least got those three fingers that are exposed to do his power stuff.
Is it the thumb?
It was the thumb,
thumb's
index,
out.
and pinky. So he can do this, basically. At least in the early runs. And then sometimes like that changes too, like in the Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had kind of a different look in Excalibur too. But with his initial kind of setup and original uniform, those were the ones that were exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the same ones in the animated series. The TAS and X-Men, I just have it. It's the same kind of three that are out. The jacket, I'm glad they went with the trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
Because realistically, like with all the other coats that they tried with the initial character design, I really think that one has the best like look to it. I don't think the rest of the outfit would look as good with the shorter jacket.
It's a lot louder.
It's a lot louder. I think that the big kind of heavy coat does a better job at kind of tying the whole thing together. It's not, again, very easy to move around in. It's probably not very quiet to move around in. Like,
I'm here.
have long coats for, like, they're not quiet. None of this is stealthy. Like, the whole outfit is just, like, I'm going to be as loud color-wise and as loud audio-wise as humanly possible while I'm sneaking around in the Thieves Guild. Like, what? I digress.
The Thieves Guild dresses like that.
They're all like that.
Yeah. They're just that good.
They're that good, guys, that they can just be loud in all other aspects. Still steal whatever they need to steal. Sneaky. I want to say it was like the X-Men Origins comic actually showed one of the comics, I can't remember which year it is, but it's like a Wolverine origin story, essentially. But there's a part of it where they throw back to a young Gambit working, doing it like an odd job for Mr. Sinister, and he has the same under outfit. It's the same, like the head sock, the chest piece, and the same pants and the boots, but he doesn't have a coat. And part of that arc, he's talking about being cold, and the first thing he's going to do when he gets back is buy a really nice jacket. And I thought that was kind of an amazing little bit of lore that they dropped in later, because obviously that comic was written several years later. It was, I think, early 2000s where they did that run, and they tie it back to, obviously, as an adult, he's wearing that coat in his first appearance, and he's wearing the same, like, basically exact outfit underneath. So it was a nice callback, kind of like, hey, this is how he ended up with that coat, is that he just didn't want to be cold. And I guess if you're from New Orleans and you go somewhere where it's, like, shitty and snowy, you're gonna be like, this is horrible, because I'm used to being, like, nice and warm and, like, humid, and then to be somewhere where you're freezing your ass off, basically, you're like, yeah, I want a jacket, and we're just gonna make that work from now on.
Well, I do appreciate as well with most superhero things, it is almost like a lycra one-suit, and you are going to get cold, so I do appreciate that most of the X-Men have like a little coat, because you would be like, it's cold. Just cold. Like, you know.
The wind goes right through those.
That's it.
Yeah.
So with that, we have kind of finished up, finally, even with our tangents, kind of Gambit's final look there. So as we've mentioned, it is very 90s, very flashy. Him as a character in general, he's got this vibe to him that hooked, I think, so many of us just basically based off how he looked. Like, he was like, this, he's so unique, especially compared to the rest of kind of the X-Men team. It all kind of had that same, they were all in the same uniforms. They were all very matchy-matchy, very much team. And then Gambit is introduced and he's like, hey, this guy looks different. Like, he's obviously different. He's got a lot of stuff going on to him. There's a lot of, like, mystery about him. Like, why does he dress like that? And like I said, we end up getting context for why he dresses like that decades later. Mm-hmm. But it's cool that it's still, like, the look hasn't really changed. Like, it changes here and there, but it always kind of boils down to, like, he still has the trench coat, he still has the headstock, he still has various shades of the same uniform, but it's always, like, the chest piece and the pants and the same kind of boots. Like, he always, no matter who is drawing him or writing him, kind of goes back to that vibe. And even though some people say, oh, it's very outdated, I like it. I like that he has consistency.
It's iconic.
It is iconic. It is. There's no question who that character is, no matter who's drawing him. You look at the outfit and you're like, oh, it's Gambit. Like, there's no misconstruing it. There's no getting him confused for somebody else. I have a friend that used to get him and Havoc messed up every once in a while because of the head sock. And I was like, but one is like a blonde does not mean that it's the same character just because he's wearing a head sock. Obviously, there's other...
Stop trying to make him a Summers.
Yeah, stop trying to make him Summers. Damn it. Even unintentionally. So this brings us to, I think, my favorite part of the episode. We're going to play Smash or Pass. And this time we're going to say it out loud, and then we have to justify it. So, Vonnie, would you like to ask today's Smash or Pass question?
Smash or Pass? Right. Are we going to smash or pass on the Gambit on the X-Men 266 cover? The one that we talked about earlier. Are we going to smash or pass?
With the thong on the outside?
With the thong
on the outside.
And the animal print.
And the zebra pants. Ready? We'll do it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smash.
Okay.
Smash.
All right, we got 2 smashes and a pass. All right. Which is, to be fair, I think what happened last time too, but we've switched up.
We switched up a little bit. So, Vonnie, you get to pick who do you want to justify?
We'll go to Liv, see why she's passing.
Thank you. Okay, great. So yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. Cause I'm gonna be honest, if I did not know who that was, and that was the first impression that I had, I would be like, that is, nope, that, but it's the mixture of the thong on the outside and the animal print. Like those are some choices. I do not think that there would be a lot of interest and compatibility based on that outfit. It's a lot.
It is a lot. I'll give you that.
That's my whole justification. I'm sorry.
That's your justification. You're just like, the outfit's a lot. No. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Smash. And my justification for it is, I don't know. He's just like that version of Gambit, even with the thong on the outside. Like, he just still has that, like, I don't know a way to phrase this where I'm not gonna get pineappled.
It draws your eye.
That, it draws your eye, and just the overall vibe looks like the kind of guy that would just, like, pull you into an alley in a sexy way. That's all I'm gonna go with there. And that would distract you from the fact that he's wearing his thong on the outside. That's all I got. Vonnie, your justification for the smash?
Well, you can see what you're getting.
That's beautiful.
That is
there
the
you
best
go.
Answer, I think, that we
there
can
you go.
for.
You can.
We're done with that, you guys.
Yeah.
That is we peaked. We can't get any better than this.
I feel like it might be very telling that my pass was because he does look like somebody that would pull you into an alley, and Meg's smash was that he looks like someone who would pull you into an alley.
You know, it's romantic sometimes, okay? It can be, if you're into that. Anyway, moving on. We've now come to the section where we're going for stuff for you guys to spend your money on. So this is our Charge Dick Card segment. And this week we're going to be going over the Marvel Legends Gambit and Rogue basketball set that Hasbro has. This is still up for pre-order. I'm surprised, because most of the pre-orders for other Hasbros have sold out. They're, as of yesterday, still up for pre-order on Hasbro.com. It is the 6-inch scale Marvel figures, and it looks like they're from X-Men 97, and it's the Rogue in her basketball outfit, and then Gambit in the kind of the blue shorts with the head scarf.
I think it's a bandana.
It's a bandana. It's, again, recreated that iconic 90s look, and I have no self-control, and I bought 2 different sets. But they are still up. They are, I want to say, in like the $50 range, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, I think we were 49.99 over here.
Yeah, it's right about in there. Like I said, they are still up for pre-order. I'm shocked. I don't know how much longer that's going to be for those guys. They have like 20 points of articulation. They have like swappable parts. They're actually pretty cool. We got to take a look at them at San Diego Comic-Con. They had them at the Hasbro setup there, and they look really cool. So if you have not ordered those, go ahead and go to Hasbro.com and get your orders in before they're all gone. For Gambit spotting for comics, upcoming Gambit appearances from mid-September through the end of the month. We had on the 17th coming out is going to be Uncanny X-Men number 21 by Gail Simone. The art on this one is going to be by Vecchio. Also coming out, where Gambit is supposedly having appearances, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe number 3, which is coming out on September 24th. And then there's an early October 1st, because we won't have an episode, I don't believe, published that's going to catch that before it comes out. Ultimate Wolverine number 10, which the alternate version, the Ultimate Gambit, has been featured in that one. Presumably he will continue to feature in it. That one's out October 1st. It's by Condon and Capuccio. The art on that is phenomenal, by the way, if you guys haven't checked it out. I really, really like the vibe that Ultimate Gambit has going there. It's kind of like an eye patch, and he's all scarred up, and it's just a good characterization. And interestingly enough, we learned at GalaxyCon, Gavin Guidry actually had some impact on the character dialogue for Ultimate Gambit as well as Uncanny Gambit, which is a little bit of lore that he dropped on us, which I thought was fabulous, because that's kind of helping correct wrongs with that character and his accent moving forward. So it's pretty awesome that he's doing that. For actor spotting convention appearances, again, this is from the 15th of September through the end of the month. There's only one. It's going to be Alessandro Giuliani, who is the voice of Gambit in X-Men Evolution. He's going to be at Reno, Nevada at the Anniverse Fest, September 27th through the 28th. And that concludes our Gambit spotting for the week. We do have some listener questions. We actually have 2 listener questions for you guys. This is from user Nebulous. And the first listener question is, what is Gambit's spice tolerance, and is there a limit? So we'll go with Liv. Liv, what do you think? Because you're from the South, so we're just going to put you out there.
Thanks. Like, Texas is not Louisiana, just first.
It's close enough. It's closer than California and England, so you get what you get. Okay?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna say it's pretty damn high. I've only been to New Orleans once. I tried the food there, and it was, I don't think I had anything that was like too spicy for me, but I know that they do have some pretty spicier dishes. Especially like some of the jambalaya I had there was like, oof, okay, this is making me sweat a little tiny bit. Yeah, so I'd say it's got a pretty high spice tolerance. I think it's kind of adapted it over the years growing up there.
Right, Vonnie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Pretty high. I mean, yeah. Him in the kitchen is the place to be as well. So you can ensure he'll be adding the spices to his recipes. So yeah, I think he has got a high tolerance for spice.
So I think he has a limit, and I'm gonna say this from my perspective of eating different spicy foods, which I should not be eating because I have an ulcer and it's a terrible idea and I do it every time and I don't care. It just like hurt me, baby. I have had spicy Southern food and I've also had spicy Thai food. And I don't know that Gambit could hang with spicy Thai food. I don't think anybody can hang with spicy Thai food. There's like a certain kind of stomach that they have developed there that just can handle just asinine amounts of peppers that just would kill a normal human. So I think that Gambit probably for the South could have a very high spice tolerance, but I don't know that he could handle like
Southeast Asia level of spice.
Southeast Asia, it's a different.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. Also fair. You put me on the spot immediately, and I forgot that was the second part of the question. So yeah, I agree with your take on it. I panicked and I answered the first part.
Oh God, no! Sorry, I shouldn't have put you on the spot again. I will continue to do so though. We haven't learned from this.
Yeah.
And then the second part to that question is, who has the higher spice tolerance, Gambit or Rogue? I'm just going to go ahead and say Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to agree with that because...
Not that Mississippi can't hang, but I think it's, again, different levels.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Especially for Southern food, I think, it's like as you get further away from, like, Mexico and stuff, I think that it's going to be, like, a gradation sort of situation. Not that I think that like, Texas is spicier than like Louisiana, but I think that's kind of how the spice tolerance level would kind of taper out as you get to
it fades as you get further away.
Yeah.
It's like it's a certain radius, and it just gets weaker as it goes along. It's like an earthquake. Just the further away you are, the less you can handle.
Spicy earthquake.
That's true, because I'm in California. I can't handle shit. I still try it. Every time. We have this really nice, it's actually like a soul food place in the town that I live, and I got a crab boil there, and the guy that is the chef kept coming out to check on me, because he's like, "Oh, honey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like, I like it. It's okay. Like, I'm doing this to myself." But he was like, "Do you want me to, like, bring you some water?" He's just like, "You're from California, I can tell, and I know you can't hang, but you're trying." And it was lovely. It was very delicious food. But I'm not built for that. I try to be. I just don't got it, which makes me sad, because it's very tasty. I'll still, like I said, still eat it. It hurts me, but I don't care. 2 weeks from now, we're going to Gambit's power set, starting with his kinetic powers and moving on from there. It's going to be a two-parter, actually, so stay tuned for that. Everybody say hello to and goodbye to Gumbo, who's making an appearance once more.
He knows we're wrapping up, apparently.
He knows we're wrapping up. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep this kitten off the street. Make sure you contribute to his GoFundMe so he can get his eyes fixed and doesn't need to start doing an OnlyFans, though he clearly wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Help fix little Gumbo's eyes so he can have a good, long, happy life.
And be able to see things.
It's very important to be able to see things.
He, with full confidence, walked straight off the arm of the couch the other day.
Yeah, we need to get those eyes fixed as soon as possible before he hurts himself.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the day. It was really nice to have you guys. Hopefully we didn't ramble too much. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.